Had lunch today at Iguana Mia, my favorite place. Hey, what's happening, everybody? Al here. Today, I got something on my mind. Recently, Ford announced that they are not going to build sedans anymore. A couple days ago, Ford announced that they're not going to build the Taurus, the Fusion, and the Focuses. They've given up. They've decided this isn't what we want to do. They're selling us a bill of goods. They're saying the auto industry is changing, and we're changing with it. We need to adapt. So we're going to drop all our sedans, and we're going to focus on SUVs and CUVs. We're going to build a Mustang, and we're going to, implement hybrid technology. Blah blah blah. This has a very familiar sound to me, and I think it's just another example of Ford doing really stupid things. They've done stupid things in the past, and they're about to do something really stupid now. Dropping the Fusion and the Taurus and all these other cars, this is telling us that the market is changing and we're adapting to it is just a bunch of bull. It's not that the market is changing. You're changing. The company's changing. They've decided that they can't compete in this market. So they're going to drop their cars and give up. Now, if I was Kia or Hyundai, when I hear this news that Ford's doing this, I'm jumping up and down saying, yeah, guys, thank you. You're doing us a big favor because all those buyers are going to come our way. They're not announcing that they're going to stop building the Kia Optima and some of the other cars that they're making. Those cars are selling. Kia's doing a pretty good job. How come Ford can't do that? That's what the problem is. And it's reminding me of something that happened years ago. Check this out. Somewhere around 1988, 1889, we're in the middle of the Fox body period. The Fox bodies are being built. People are building them, buying them like hotcakes. We're outrunning the Camaros, all the competitors. The Fox bodies are just running away with it. Okay? And Ford comes out and says, oh, guys, the automotive industry is changing, and we're going to change the Mustang now. We're going to turn it into a front-wheel drive, four-cylinder car because this is what you want. So this is what Ford was going to do. It was insanity back then when Ford said that. It's a good thing they didn't do it. Imagine what today would be like if Ford did that. We wouldn't have all these Fox bodies. Even today, people are chasing after the Fox bodies. How many years has it been? 15 years since they stopped building Fox bodies? And people are still going after them because they're great cars. You can modify that thing any which way you want. You can put any motor in it that you want. Everything is available. But Ford had this idea that they were going to stop building that car. Imagine what the Mustang landscape would be like today if they stopped building that car. Do you think that we would have S550s being sold globally? I don't think so. Ford has this this history of making big mistakes. And I had a conversation with somebody who's much older than I am. I told him my story, and he told me the story about the Edsel. Now, I'm not very well versed on that, but this is a car that Ford invested a tremendous amount of money in. Some Ford executives were telling Ford, don't do this, you're making a mistake. They did it, the car flopped, and it was, and the rest is history. Just another example of stupid things that Ford does. So the public outcry to continue building the Fox body convinced Ford to continue doing that. So they released their four-cylinder cars, the Ford Probe. Remember the Ford Probe? That was going to be the Mustang. That's what Ford thought the future of the Mustang would be. Really stupid. And what they're doing today is just as stupid. There's been lots of things, in my opinion, that Ford did wrong. They didn't learn from the pressure that they were under to continue building the 5-liter Mustang. In 1996, what do? They redesigned their engines and they come out with a 4.6. Now, I understand, they needed a more efficient engine. They wanted to go double overhead cams and all that other stuff. I understand that. But it should have been a 5-liter. Imagine how different things would have been from 96, to say 2002, okay? Chevy had some pretty romping Camaros during that time. And the 4.6 Mustangs were getting whipped by those Camaros. But what if the modular motor was a 5-liter? Do you think that the Mustangs would have been getting whipped? I don't think so. Imagine a 32 valve Cobra motor as a 5-liter instead of a 4.6. The Cobra motor ran pretty good, but it just could never make up for the displacement that it was missing. I remember what that was like at the time. I went and looked at those Mustangs. I drove a 97 Cobra, and I don't know, it made more horsepower, but it had no bottom end. It was really soft on the bottom. I didn't like it at all. So I never bought any of those 4.6s, not the two valves, or the dual overhead cam version of it. The only 4.6 car that I bought was the 03 Cobra. When they came out with that one, I bought that one. But I still to this day say that the 4.6 was a mistake. Bad idea, Ford. Sorry, guys. There are a lot of people out there that like the 4.6, and that's all good and well. But as far as I'm concerned, if it was a 5-liter, all you guys would be a lot happier with the car. And think about the 3-valve, right? Think about the 3-valve as a 5-liter. The 3-valve was a great idea when they came out with that. I was kind of shocked. I thought that engine was going to be dual overhead cam, and they come out with the 3-valve, with VVT. And I'm thinking, well, that's not a bad idea. But still, the engine just, making 315 horsepower. If it was a 5-liter, it would probably have been maybe 345 horsepower with all the torque that comes with the extra displacement. Which brings up another point. From 05 to 10. There was no competition. The Chevy wasn't building any cars. There was no competition for the Mustang. So what does Ford do? Basically nothing. The 3-valve hadn't changed from 05 to 09. All they did, to 10, excuse me. So what do? They put stripes on them. They make pretty colors. The cars are really nice looking. They put nice wheels on them. They do all of these things. But that's it. Unless you buy a GT500 or a Saleen or something like that with a supercharger, spent all that money, that's it. 3-valve, same thing from 05 to 2010. Not good marketing, Ford. They didn't improve it, and to me, that's a mistake. That's something that for us enthusiasts, for us brand people who are brand show our loyalties to Ford. You got to do something for us. You just can't just keep building the same thing over and over again because the competitors aren't doing anything. So, these are my opinions, and, I know a lot of people who share my opinions. I'm sorry, guys, for those of you who like the 4.6 period, but not my cup of tea. Even the 03 Cobra, when I look back on that, the car itself, it was quick. I mean, I pulleyed it and I tuned it. I did some things with it, but I got so frustrated with the rear suspension that eventually I just sold the car, and, I didn't do anything for a couple of years until they came out with the Coyotes. And case in point, okay? I've said all I've said about the 4.6. Should have been a 5-liter, but then when they come out with the Coyote motor, guess what it is? It's a 5-liter. There's a reason for that. It needs a good performance engine. A good V8 needs a certain amount of displacement for it to really be a good performance engine where it has a versatile power band on the bottom, on the top, and everything in between. The 4.6 just didn't have it. A good passenger car engine, but not a good performance engine, in my opinion. And now Ford's selling us the same bill of goods that the auto industry is changing, and we're just changing with it. I don't buy it for a second. You guys are just wimping out. It's a bunch of BS. You don't want to compete. And really all Ford needs to do is come up with a recipe and build a car that people want, and they'll sell. So that's my take on that. One other bit of news, which is actually good news. I know people in high places in the auto industry, and when this news came out that Ford's doing this, I made some contacts, and I got some information on the next generation Mustang, what they're now calling the S650. From what I'm hearing, this car is going to be light years ahead of the S550. Which is hard for me to fathom because the S550 is so good. My 18, with the 10-speed and all of that, it's nice to have all of those things, but basically the 18 is an S550. It's not much different than the 15 to 17 car, and it's a great car. I love it. So how could it be possible that the S650 is going to be light years ahead of this car? I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see on that one. But one interesting point is that when Ford did their press release about the future of their vehicles, they made mention of all the hybrid technology that's coming out and is going to be into the CUVs and the SUVs and all the vehicles that they're going to continue to build. Well, that technology is going to be in the Mustang just the same. Now, if you look at the Mustang's lineup currently, for 18 they dropped the 6-cylinder. They're not doing that anymore. So you've got the EcoBoost and you've got the 5-liter V8. Something's missing in between. That middle ground engine is just simply not there. So when we get the new car in 2020, maybe 2021, we're not really sure when that's going to happen just yet. But there's going to be that motor, that void is going to be filled, and in all likelihood, it's going to be filled with, a turbocharged, maybe a twin turbo, 6-cylinder. Not exactly sure, the displacement of that engine, combined, with some sort of hybrid technology. We're going to have to see how that pans out, but my guess is that's what we're going to see. So that's basically it. Right now there's a lot to be excited about on the Mustang end of things. The current cars are really good, and the future looks bright. If you're a Mustang guy like I am, and you're looking forward to what's to come in the future, there's a lot to be excited about. So that's about a wrap for today, folks. Until next time, Coyote Car Guy, over and out.